Today I'm going to show you how to make apple pie pops and apple pie cookies. They are essentially the same thing, except that pops obviously have a lollipop stick in them and the cookies just don't have anything in them. And the reason I call them a cookie is because they are literally the size of a cookie, but they're apple pies. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make them from start to finish. Okay, so what I have done here is I've taken one of the refrigerated pie crust and I've just unrolled it onto my little mat here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a round cookie cutter and I'm just going to press and twist, and that'll cut the dough out. And I'm just going to do this to make 12 little circles. Okay, so all I'm doing here, I've taken my apple pie filling, the canned apple pie filling that you just buy at the grocery store. I've chopped up the apples into smaller bits because the apple pieces are so big that they're not going to fit. So I've cut them up into little pieces and I'm just going to plop them on there. And you want to try to get as much pie filling as you can in each one of these. So really just try to pack the pie filling in here, because the first time I made these, they were really good, but they didn't have enough pie filling in them. So I am making sure that that does not happen again. Okay, now with most of these, I'm just going to make them cookies, so they're not going to have lollipop sticks in them, but I am going to make a few with lollipop sticks in them so that you can see exactly how to do it if you want to do a whole batch of the pops. So I'm going to take my 6-inch lollipop stick. I'm going to kind of gently press it in here. You don't want to just set it on top because you want to make a little bit of an indentation so it kind of stays in there a little bit better, and you can put more pie filling on top of it. And now I'm going to cover it with pie filling. Okay, I've rolled out my other pie crust and I've cut more circles, so we're going to have a total of 24 circles for a batch of 12. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of spreading it out with my fingers, because with all of this pie filling right here, the last time I tried to make them and I didn't do this, it was too short and stuff started coming out all over the sides, and so you need a little more room to grow on the top since you want to add all that filling. So I'm just going to kind of pull and stretch and push a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little silicone basting brush and I'm going to dip it in water and put it around the sides. This will help seal the pie whenever you go to press it. Okay, now that I've spread that out, I'm going to put it on top, and that is about right. I'll probably make the next one bigger, but you kind of go and learn as you go. So I'm going to take a little fork here and just press down on the sides to seal it. So I just go all the way around and just make sure it's sealed well. And these look bulky because the last time I made them, they absolutely did not have enough pie filling in them. That was my family's biggest complaint, was that they did not have enough pie filling in them. So I'm making sure I don't make that same mistake twice. Okay, so now that I have all of these pressed and sealed, like the saran wrap, I'm going to take some melted butter with another baster, and I'm just going to brush this on the tops of these little pies here. Just coat it as best as you can. Alright, they may not look all that pretty right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle these with cinnamon and sugar. The butter helps the cinnamon and sugar stick to the pie tops, and it makes it even more delicious. So I'm going to generously sprinkle this on top. This gives it a little extra flavor whenever you bite into it, because really all we're looking at here is the pie crust and the apple pie filling. So this just makes it a little bit better. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook these little guys. So I use a little cookie spatula to carefully transport them from my little area over here onto my baking stone. Every time I bake something, I use this baking stone because they are awesome. They just bake everything perfectly. It's just evenly baked throughout, top and bottom. Whatever it looks like on the top, that's what it looks like on the bottom. So that's why I don't ever use anything else. I was hooked after the first time I used it. Okay, so now I'm gonna bake these little bad boys at 425 degrees. Last time I did this on the baking stone when I first put it in, it took exactly 14 minutes when it was a perfect consistency. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it in here for 14 minutes. It varies on your oven. With the baking stones, it takes a little bit longer for them to get hot the first time you put it in there. So usually it's an extra couple of minutes. But I'm gonna put it in here for 14 minutes at 425 degrees. And as soon as you pull them out of the oven, what you wanna do is take your little cookie spatula and just kind of loosen them a little bit. You just don't want them to, the longer they take to cool on this hot surface and they haven't been loosened, the harder it's gonna be to move them around. So you just wanna loosen them a little bit. And look at how scrumdiddlyumptious those look. I'm gonna let those cool completely. I'm gonna show you how to package them. Okay, now they're done. And what I've done is I've packaged them. Now, you have so many options here of how you want to package them. I did it like this because it's close to Christmas time. If you want to dress it up with a little fancy bow, these are actually bows with twisty ties. You can get them at your local arts and crafts store. And I just put these in the little treat bags. I got 4 of them in here. You can get the larger treat bags if you want to put more. Or you can get the little Christmas tins and you can pack them in there if you want. The lollipops, also the treat bag, you just put it on top and wrap it down there and put the little bow on. And again, I mean, you can tie it with whatever you want. A ribbon, yarn. I use the twisty ties with the bows, or you could use regular twisty ties, however you want. If you want to stand these up, if you're having a Christmas party or something like that, and you want to stand these up, you could get the lollipop stands, or you could put it in a piece of styrofoam. You have several different options of what you want to do here. So anyway, these are the apple pie pops and the apple pie cookies. So for the recipe, go to supersweettooth.com, and I'll see you next time.